What is up, YouTubers? Okay, my name's Todd, and if you've watched the past couple of videos of mine, it's about a project I'm doing. It's a vintage set of Jensen CS315 15-inch three-way loudspeakers. So, that being said, I was trying to get a little bit technical earlier and ran into a few glitches where I took a bunch of videos that wound up stopping on me while I was doing them. I was just trying to use a remote control. That didn't work out so great. So I'm just gonna run it static like I did before, sitting there on a tripod, and show you what's what. In case you're wondering, I'm using a Pixel 7 to do the filming on this series. So you know what I'm using, just a straight up Pixel 7, no extra lights, no extra mic or anything else. All right, so moving right along, I have here a already cleaned up speaker, which is kind of a disappointment because I wanted to show you how I actually clean them. And it didn't take long, I think 7 minutes that the video didn't capture. So sorry about that. But basically what I use is a horsehair attachment brush on a vacuum. And you don't have to get really aggressive. Basically, you just let the horsehair and the vacuum do the work. Don't push a whole lot. This is vintage material and vintage, finishes on these things. Vintage drivers, so always be careful. Essentially, with the grills, I had them off, and I was just kind of, circular patterns and little crisscross and whatnot, just getting as much as I could off. In the video there, you might see a spot here. This was from actually something had gotten splashed on there, maybe food or something like that from the previous owner. So what I like to use is a damp microfiber, and the damp microfiber, it works on the grills, it works on the speaker drivers themselves, it works on the cabinets. So very handy to have, just some mild like Dawn dishwashing detergent, and just water, just damp, not dripping. See, it's not dripping. So that's what this is. It's a little wet spot from where I was just working a little bit. And when you do the grills, and I'm going to talk about a few things that the grills you want to watch out for on vintage speakers. Vintage speaker grills will often have MDF or wood frames. These happen to have plastic, and plastic frames too aren't, they're not indestructible over 30 years. They tend to get a little brittle. Sometimes the little guys that hold them on can break. And a lot of times the glue's coming loose. Many times the material itself has got some, rips, tears, holes, things like that, snags. I got really lucky with this find. These are still in really good shape. This is a really large speaker grill without a lot of support. By contrast, my Energies RC70s upstairs, they've got magnets, and man, there's a ton of them on there that hold them onto the speakers. So this has just got 4 mounting points. Luckily, it's just a molded in piece of plastic and a rubber grommet here, so they do stick pretty well. So I used that technique with the vacuum microfiber on the grill. And as you can see, these guys look really nice. They look almost brand new. And I just, again, use the microfiber on these, everything, including the drivers. And when I do the drivers, I just let the cloth do the work. Okay, I'm not pressing on these. Be really careful around the foam surrounds. These will, if they're not sealed, they'll soak up a little bit of water and get a little bit mushy. Never use chemicals on these, okay? And also you want to make sure they're still pliable. Now these speakers, the surrounds, just like the rest of the speakers, are in really nice shape. These paper cones are not treated, so I'm letting them dry, but before I use them. But yeah, overall really nice shaped speakers. I think this finish might be like a walnut contact paper, but again, really clean, really nice, wiped down really good. Back of the speakers, might as well show you those. Kind of look like this. That terminal down there, spring-loaded terminal, I'm going to be eventually swapping out with a 5-way binding post that fits right in there. But yeah, pretty nice shape. And I can actually show you really quick on the other speaker I have how I did the wiping down and how it makes a difference. Okay, because this other set that I've got emptied out, I don't have anything in there. But basically what I did was I just used the microfiber. On this stuff you can press a little bit, you don't have to be as careful with it, still be careful. This actually still has a little plastic cover on it, which is awesome. I'll peel that off so it's like brand new, so that's pretty cool. The sides, okay, still in decent shape. Just gonna wipe them off, being careful around the corners, on the edges. Okay, it's really all it needs. Let it air dry. I wouldn't use Pledge or any kind of chemicals on there. And the back, it's just like painted with like matte black paint. So again, microfiber's fine for that. Eventually that'll dry and look real nice and clean. So these, unfortunately, because of me trying to shoot so many videos and not being prepared for it, lesson in YouTube, I, basically these are fairly clean. You see this real kind of edge where it's a little bit rough? That's contact paper lifting up, and you'll see that on older speakers. Oftentimes what you can do is take a razor and just trim that real nice. Okay. Yeah, so basically that was the cabinet. And for the drivers, they, like I said, I just wiped them down. This one is drying off right now, but spectacularly clean for an old speaker. Unbelievable. So what I'm going to do next video, part 4, we'll be taking these guys up into the office. I'm going to go ahead and put the drivers back in this cabinet, get it reassembled, and hook them up to my NAD receiver. See how they sound just the way they are in their original fashion. So we'll see how good a job Jensen did. Just a word of disclaimer, right? I'm not set up with testing equipment. This is all going to be subjective. We'll see how the mic on the Pixel 7 picks up the music. Hopefully it sounds okay, and hopefully you'll be able to tell the difference. But yeah, it's not about frequency response and whatnot. This is purely subjective. This build is just for fun, and it'll all be about how I like them, how they sound to me. So anyway, that's it for now. Over and out. Next time you see me, it'll be up in the office with these guys hooked up. Thanks.